So, Victoria asked if I wanted to do something, and I'm not much of a singer any longer, not that I ever was, and I definitely don't dance anymore. I get to write music a lot, but not in this style necessarily. So I said, you know, let's do something different. How about something that's kind of a written piece, something that would be a monologue that I can read, which translates to an essay. So this is an essay in art, the essay itself becoming a bit of a lost art form itself. And so I want you to think of it, essays are kind of old-fashioned, think of it as a live blog, for those of you that know what that is. So take out your notebooks, because there's going to be a quiz at the end, all right? You ready? It's a piece called Wherefore Art Thou, underscored by Mr. Tim Thompson. Wherefore art thou? We all know it as Shakespeare's immortal, "Oh Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo?" But you know what? Juliet is not asking, "Where are you, Romeo?" She's actually saying, "Why are you, Romeo?" That's the actual translation. Why are you a Montague? Why are we seemingly doomed because of our family names? Well, as I began thinking about song dance art and what I might do this evening, the abbreviation of that phrase kept rolling around in my head. Wherefore art thou? Or perhaps even a shorter version, wherefore art? Or why art? Why? There are thousands of essays and poems, even laws about the importance of art. There are scant few individuals who would argue that art is not a valuable part of any culture, an integral part of world history, in fact. Arguably, it's a record of creation. Not only creation in a religious sense, but the creation of virtually anything and everything that exists. Pick any event or an object or a concept from the beginning of existence, and it's probably recreated, represented, or commented on in a song, a sculpture, a poem, or a painting. You know, artists find inspiration in everyday life and in exceptional life. Choreography is drawn from the past, present, and imagining the future. Plays, literature, even paper airplanes are testaments to history. Wherefore art? Because it is a part of who and what we are as living beings. And you don't have to have a degree to label you as an artist. You don't have to have a degree to be an artist. Everyone has artistic inclinations if they have the inclination to create. You know, when the National Endowment for the Arts was established in 1965, President Lyndon B. Johnson gave a speech that is often resurrected and quoted. It goes like this: "Art is a nation's most precious heritage, for it is in our works of art that we reveal ourselves and to others the inner vision which guides us as a nation. And where there is not vision, the people perish." We know that art has been around before written language. Ancient carvings and cave wall paintings attest to an early drive to participate in artistic endeavors. Even more basic is that it was and continues to be a way to communicate something that is too big, or too deep, or too intense, or too complicated to be expressed in the language of conversation or journalistic writing. So on one basic level, art equals communication. But once again, the question of the value of artistic endeavors is rarely questioned. I think the more interesting question is actually, and it's one that does spark debate, is what is art? How do you define art? To paraphrase Shakespeare once again, it is a thing to look into happiness through another man's eyes. But is it that simple? A piece of art is divine to one person, and it's ridiculous to the next. Revered artists of the past may not have produced anything more amazing than countless others, but through circumstance, through happenstance, they become icons while others do not. What makes the pottery glazed in a kiln a piece of art and the coffee cup just a functional piece of kitchenware? What makes the painting, the photograph, or sketch a piece of art and the half-off flyer with attached coupon just a piece of advertising? What makes a ringtone annoying and a simple melody a successful hit song and winning BMI awards? Is it intent? Is it because something is mass-produced versus a singular endeavor that can never be exactly replicated? Is it value measured by the appreciation of even one individual? The definition of art is controversial in contemporary philosophy. Whether art can be defined at all is also a matter of discussion. The philosopher Plato holds that the arts are representational or imitative. I'm trying to rush because it's long. Artworks are dependent on and inferior to ordinary physical objects, which in turn are dependent on and inferior to what is most real. Grasped perceptually, artworks present only an appearance of what is really real. That's Plato's thought. I don't agree with Plato that art is inferior, it's the real thing. I don't think you could really compare them. A common argument has it that art is, by its nature, too diverse to submit to unification that a satisfactory definition strives for. Or to put it another way, a definition of art, were there to be such a thing, would exert a stifling influence on artistic creativity. Hence, art is indefinable. Guess what? I disagree with that as well. For me, the acceptance of a creation as a piece of art being all forms of creative expression, not just visual, the acceptance of something as a piece of art is that it simply has to fulfill at least one of two criteria. If the piece is intended as a piece of art by the creator, then it is. And or if a piece is valued as a piece of art, then it is. No one else has to agree with the artist or with the audience, but it does not change the fact that a single individual creates or sees it as such, then it is. A scribble by a toddler is not intended as a piece of art, but the parent who picks it up and puts it on the refrigerator reveres it as a masterpiece, and so it is a piece of art. Did an individual make it as art? Does an individual see it as art? Then it is. I have a work that I'd like to share with you that I fully intend to be a piece of art, and so by my definition, it is. It's about how artistic creation often comes into being, and this is how it goes. We're improvising up here, so we're bringing down just a little bit. The clock wipes its face as the bell it strikes short. The light of day hiding fast from its perch long gone. Dreams, well pleased, raise their cloth and set sail from the port, in search of opposites that will battle from darkness to dawn. Crossing over the sea of self-doubt, insecurities are drowned as contrary forces meet and new allegiances are born. Pulse life is created and form searched and found. The prize of the war are imaginings sworn to each other. Unlike sides meet face to face, from a truce, and they mate. From their union, the goal is to breathe life and create. A flame to melt, a wind to freeze. Sad patience, joyous energies, humility, yet pride and scorn. Instinct and study, love and hate, audacity, reverence. All of these must mate and fuse with the heart to create the artist's art. Are my words brilliant? Probably not by most people's measure. Is it art? Absolutely. In closing, I have one last quote from that most famous of playwrights, and a challenge to each and every one of you. He says, "Our doubts are traitors and make us lose the good with which we oft might win by fearing to attempt." Again, our doubts are traitors and make us lose the good we oft might win by fearing to attempt. You too can be an artist. All you need to do is create, and you are. Wherefore art? Because I can. Because I need to. Because I must. How about you?
Yeah.